All right, Reggie, let's talk about what you've done. You are a graduate of 1990 of East Chicago Central High School.
Correct.
You're the first graduating four-year class at the school. Tell us about your journey going from the first year of East Chicago Central graduating class to now where you're currently at in Macau, China.
Wow, it's been a long journey. It's been a great ride from East Chicago Central. I went to junior college, which was in Iowa, and then from Iowa on a basketball scholarship, and from Iowa I transferred to Winona State, which is in Minnesota. And from there, I was studying and working hard and stayed focused. And thanks for my parents for keeping me going in that direction. That I was able to stay focused and grind it out. Nowhere in the world I imagined doing the things that I'm doing right now, which is being the US Warden and Vice Chair of the American Chambers of Commerce and meeting all these influential people around the world.
Now, you started off, tell us about where you grew up at here in East Chicago. Where did you grow up at, and tell us about your development within the city.
You know what? I lived in all over East Chicago pretty much as a little baby. I was living on McCook. Then my parents moved to Guthrie. And from Guthrie, I was raised in Prairie Park. All right. Now I don't remember living on Guthrie. I was a little baby at that time, and I grew up in Prairie Park pretty much all my nursery, elementary, high school career. And from there, I was in private school. I went to Indiana Harbor Catholic, which I just found out is no longer running right now. And I went to before then, I was in a Catholic school in Gary, Indiana called St. Monica's, which is no longer running right now. So I begged my parents to let me go to EC Central, and I was the first freshman class at EC Central in 1990, which I think is the best class. Sorry, Ray. But that was the ride, pretty much.
Now, you went to college, and what did you pursue, and what was your degree in?
You know what? My degree was in hospitality, recreational management. And at first I thought about being a teacher. My parents was trying to push me to be a teacher, and I didn't want to do that. And my assistant basketball coach at Winona State was teaching us this recreation class, and I was sitting back and said, what did you do in college? This is what I want to do. And he said, recreational management. So I said, oh man, this is for me. So I pursued recreational management, got a degree, did my internship in Palm Springs, California, and that's all she wrote. After that, I've been traveling all around the world, working in, the hotels and things as recreational management and things like that. Then I moved to the casinos, and I became, taking care of the VIPs in the casinos with very influential people, powerful people around the world. So that was the prince and sheiks of Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi and things like this. I really developed a relationship with, and then now, we good friends, and not just them, with celebrities, Beyonce, Kobe Bryant, and all this. So I had a chance to develop in this field, and my personality and a lot of things I learned from coming from East Chicago helped me to be what I'm doing today.
Reggie, you mentioned that you started off in Palm Springs, California. Who did you work with? And tell us about, there had to be a point where you go from Palm Springs, California to going to being in Macau, China. Tell us about and let us know about that process.
Wow, Palm Springs was actually an internship from college. Before I graduated college, we had to do an internship, as you know, and it just happened to be in Palm Springs, California. At this time, I was just happy, being from East Chicago, I was just happy to be in California. That was a big deal for me, seeing, going to LA, seeing a Hollywood sign, and then when I went to Tijuana, Mexico, I really thought I was big time, going into another country at that time. So from there, I went to Turkey, and from Turkey to Dominican Republic to Bahamas, all working in a resort.
And what resort was this?
It was Club Med.
Okay.
So Club Med, you had a lot of good, you had a lot of bad in Club Med, but I took all of that and I learned from it. And Club Med, wow, it blessed me to see so many different places around the world that I never imagined of seeing. My only dream place I wanted to see at the time was Brazil. Club Med never sent me to Brazil, but they sent me to all these other wonderful places, Bali, and like I said, Dominican Republic and Paris, France, places I never dreamed of going to see.
And you lived in these places, correct?
And I lived in these places. I was paid to be in these places. You know, being the only, you know, African American in majority of the places was a big deal for me. And you know, and I'm just representing African Americans around the world, and not just African, East Chicago, Indiana, in a lot of these places. So it was a great experience.
And you're in charge of the VIPs at the Venetian.
You know,
in
non-gaming VIPs. So you know, when the Prince, the Sheiks, people who necessarily doesn't gamble, but would do other things. People who want to enjoy the shows, enjoy shopping and sightseeing, things like that. And my job is to make sure everything gets laid out for them correctly. So you know, I already knew a lot of people before I went. And of course, I got a lot of friends that's coming in that's VIPs that I met at the Westin or at Club Med and Venetian. Also, new people that's coming in. If, you know, high top executives or celebrities or politicians or sports players, when they come in, I make sure everything is okay for them.
Now, Reggie, you're at the Venetian, but also I know you're a high-ranking American official within Macau. Give us an idea of what is that like and what your duties entail, and go a little bit more in depth into it.
Wow, you gave me a big time. I'm there, you know, actually to make sure the Americans are okay, and that meaning if you come there and you lose your passport, you have someone to call, you know, which you can call me if you get in any trouble, if you lose your money, for high alerts. You know, maybe you might want to go somewhere to another country. I don't want to name any countries, but you might want to go to another country. We might have a high alert there. So I help the consulate out, get this information out. Any deaths, you know, we there. Any emergencies concerning where there's a lot of Americans gathered at, I'm there to help and to relay everything back to the consulate. So that's how it works. I'm also with the American Chambers of Commerce, which I'm the vice chair of that. So with the American Chambers of Commerce, we just help American business or any other, not just American business, other businesses. We just like a front door to get into Macau, get into China, to help these people network. If they don't know how to get into China, maybe we know someone who can help
I see.
to get into China or into Macau or into Hong Kong, like that. So,
if you could give one message to every East Chicago resident watching right now, what would that be?
Oh man, good question. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. That would be my message.
Reggie, thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate it. If people want to get a hold of you, how can they go ahead and do so to keep in communication and kind of give you their well wishes?
Wow. You can get a hold to me at Reggie, US Warden, Macau @gmail.com.
Reggie, thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.